Oh man, can ARWEAVE 10 or even 100x from here? That is the question everybody is asking, and we're going to be delving into the tokenomics of ARWEAVE to determine what is a suitable multiple we could achieve as a return on investment. I'm also going to be outlining whether I'm accumulating at the end of this video once we go through the evidence. Now, ARWEAVE is a decentralized storage play. In essence, it allows you to store your data on somebody else's computer using their spare storage space. So you can nominate your spare storage space, and it's a decentralized file storage network. Think of it like a Dropbox or Google Drive, but decentralized, right? So we're going to break down the tokenomics. We're going to try to understand, can we realistically get a good multiple? Because one of the first questions we always get whenever we find a new coin is, can it 100x, right? Everybody thinks of these moonshots, but I'm going to show you exactly how you can break that down into suitable understanding. See, is this realistic? Can it be possible before you start to load up your bag? Now, the first thing we have to understand is what is pricing. And again, if you've watched any of my tokenomics series, you know this is the most important thing. So sorry if I'm teaching you to suck eggs, but a new crypto investor is born every single day, and it's important we go through this. The price you see is irrelevant. When you look at the price of Bitcoin, whether it's sitting at 23,000, if you look at the price of Filecoin, whether it's sitting at about $14, that is irrelevant. That is just a number. You have to look at what is called the market cap. Market cap takes the number of coins you have available, in other words, the supply that's out there in the market, and it multiplies by the price. When you do this, you get something called the market cap. Now, this is the true value of what you're investing in. So when you want something to 10x or 100x in order to increase the value of your bag, right, and your investment, it's the market cap that you want to increase, okay? That is what allows your price of the token to increase, assuming a supply stays the same, okay? So it's really important when you want to compare projects, you're comparing market cap. Really, really important. So that is the first thing we need to understand. So let's take this on and look at what is the situation currently with ARWEAVE. And by the way, this is a tokenomics video. This is not meant to go in detail of what ARWEAVE is or what it does. If you want a separate video on that, you got to let me know in the description and in the comment section. So 33 million ARWEAVE tokens are currently in supply, okay? Now, they're trading at a price at the time of recording this value of $14.69. So in essence, we have a market cap, if you multiply them together, of $490 million here on ARWEAVE. Why is this number important? This is the value. So if we want this to 10x, if you're going to buy ARWEAVE today, hoping it's going to 10x because your friend told you about it, or you've discovered it on some forum, or some YouTuber has told you about it, in essence, what you're basically betting on is that ARWEAVE can go from $490 million to $4.9 billion in market cap. Hopefully that makes sense. Now, just like anything, when you want to find out if the value of something can increase, you need to look at the competitors in the space. You need to understand what are the market caps of other projects so you can compare it, with those others. Can it compete with the likes of those? So we're going to compare it to Filecoin. We're also going to compare it to Dropbox as well to see, what kind of valuations are they trading at, because those are the two similar projects we can compare ARWEAVE to. Now, currently where we're sitting at, if you take a look here at what we're looking at, you can see we're sitting here at a multiple of 1 where we're currently at $14.68 with the $490 million of market cap, which we've just broken down. Now, a 10x, like we just said, implies a $4.9 billion market cap on ARWEAVE. In other words, that would mean that the token price would be $146 per ARWEAVE token. Now, keep things in mind. ARWEAVE at all-time highs, obviously we're in the midst of a bit of a crypto winter right now, but ARWEAVE at its all-time high had a market cap of 2.88 billion. So that's something it's achieved, and therefore in your mind, you can comfortably say a 5x from here is not out of the realms, right? That's very, very comfortable because that is green grass which has already been trodden. It's achieved that already. So for you to sit there with a thesis of saying, oh, I'm investing in ARWEAVE because of X, Y, Z, I've looked into the fundamentals, from a tokenomics perspective, it is not it's very realistic that it could do a 5x back to its 2.88 billion. But can it do a 10x to the 4.9 billion? Well, let me put this into perspective. 4.9 billion in market cap is 4 times almost the value of Filecoin, which is the next largest competitor for ARWEAVE, okay? So that is saying, okay, can we be 4 times bigger than our competitor? Now, I don't think this is out the realms of impossible, right? I think the narrative of decentralized file storage is an amazing narrative. I think it's definitely something which should be on everybody's radar as part of their portfolio. I still think it's super in its infancy, and I think it can go from strength to strength from here. Now, of course, if the marketplace picks back up, I mean, you're looking at Bitcoin sitting currently at 450 billion. We've seen this well past $1 trillion, and no doubt this can easily go towards 2 trillion. And when it does, it could take the whole space with it. And when it does that, I would not be surprised to see Filecoin much greater than what it is now, and definitely allowing ARWEAVE to move towards this 4.9. So if somebody came up to me and said, oh, a 10x on Filecoin is what I'm waiting for, I would say props to you. That is not crazy. That is very, very achievable for it to get to that kind of space. Now for the bit more of, moonshots where people come in and say, Filecoin, that's an easy 50x, right? Of course it can 50x from here. Well, now what you're saying is you want the token price to be $734, which implies a $24.5 billion market cap, okay? $24.5 billion. And the only way I can put this into context for you is Dropbox is the biggest file storage, is centralized, biggest file storage corporate company out there in the world. And they're trading at $8.76 billion in market cap as of today on the stock market. So you're looking at a 3x of the market cap of Dropbox. So this narrative would not only have to be huge, but it would really have to proliferate across the globe and have mass adoption amongst corporates. Everything would have to be going right in order for this to play out. So I'm not going to say it's impossible, but this would be your moonshot, right? This would be something where if everything went right and they ticked all the boxes, the crypto space is roaring, you're in the midst of a bull market, ARWEAVE are the leading player in decentralized file storage, everybody is giving up the bandwidth, the storage space on their excess computers, it becomes a phenomenon, then I think it is possible it can get towards that level. But that is not easy. That is a very, very difficult stretch. And then it goes without saying, right? If you're looking at ARWEAVE trying to get to 49 billion, to put that into perspective, you've got a layer 1 solution like BNB, which sits there at 49 billion. That is going to be difficult to get to, right? Layer 1 platforms allow all these different narratives to be built on top of them. So layer 1 narratives have the ability to run much further than others. So that's going to be a very difficult space at the 49 billion. Looking at the 1000x, right? You always get these crazy people that say, can ARWEAVE 1000x from here? You would be sitting at $490 billion. In other words, you would be at Bitcoin's current market cap. And a lot of people will make the argument, oh, Bitcoin's going to be at 2 trillion by then. Why can't ARWEAVE be at 490 billion? Nah, guys, that for me, that one is not happening. I'm not sitting here saying this is going to 1000x whatsoever, but hopefully that visual representation gives you an idea of why that's pretty crazy for a single use case. Remember, when you have certain narratives, you have single use cases. Bitcoin has multiple use cases, right? People can talk about the Lightning Network. People can talk of it as a store of value, as a commodity, as a competitor to gold. Ethereum, you can see it as the layer 1 blockchain for all these amazing use cases to be built on top. But ARWEAVE is a single use case, is to solve the issue of decentralized file storage, okay? So it's very focused on that one niche, and therefore that limits its proliferation and size that it could achieve over time, okay? So that is what we're looking at in terms of the crazy ups and downs. Now, a few more important warnings, so make sure you stay with me to the very end. We have to look at circulating supply, and circulating supply currently sits at 33.3 million ARWEAVE tokens. Now, it's important. At the Genesis back in June 2018, 55 million were minted at the Genesis, okay? 66 million were written into the code as the max supply. Now, the remaining 11 will be minted as block rewards for node operators between now and what they say is June 2023, which we'll come onto as part of the token release schedule after this. So circulating supply is 33.3 million, but max supply is 66 million. In other words, you have 51% circulating supply. Now, why is this a concern? Well, you want to be looking for tokens which have a good, healthy portion already in circulating supply, because what happens is the difference is something called your fully diluted market cap. So your current market cap, which is what we're talking about, which is 490 million, is where we're at right now, and that's 80th in the rank on coin market cap. But if you take the fully diluted market cap, which is assume all the coins are in circulation today, 100% of the coins, then you're actually sitting close to $1 billion here already on ARWEAVE. So you've got to think about it and say, if you're already at a fully diluted $1 billion valuation, I mean, we're already 1/8 of the Dropbox size, right? So therefore, your multiples on how much can we achieve a 10x or 50x, you have to adjust that with that in mind. The other thing which is important is if you're looking for short-term pumpability, as I like to say, I know that word's made up, pumpability in the price, having low circulating supply is not good for that, because it means constantly, anytime you get a rally, those who are holding these coins will be looking to release, to sell, to raise funds, to run the project, okay? So when you've got all these coins sitting on the sidelines, waiting to be pushed into circulation, that always puts downward pressure on the price. You want to get as much of it into circulating supply as quickly as possible. So two things there. Look out for the circulating supply. That's not some of the best I've seen. 51% is not enough. I'd like to see that 70, 80% in the projects I like to invest in. And then the other thing just there is make sure you look at the fully diluted. Some people look at this market cap and they go, oh, we're only sitting at 490. That's quite a small market cap project. But really, fully diluted, they're at the billion. It's a decent sized project here. To put that into perspective, I mean, it's about the size that Phantom is currently as a layer 1 solution, right? So hopefully that puts things into perspective. Then you want to look at the token distribution. So when the tokens were initially distributed, how did they split this out? Well, they sent 38.5% into circulating supply. They kept 26.5% for future use. Ecosystem development got 20%. The team got 13%. And advisors about 3%. Okay, so not so bad here. Doesn't look too bad. But what we do have to remember is they did give up about 40% of their tokens during the initial seed run. So they did a private sale back in June 2018 where they raised 8.7 million. They then did a seed round the following year, June 2019, raised another $5 million, and then they did another seed round at $8.5 million in May 2019, which also brought in the likes of their really good investors, right? We're talking about the likes of Andreessen Horowitz, we're talking about the likes of A16Z, they've got Coinbase Ventures as backers as well, so really good backing here from their team on ARWEAVE. And understandably, right, it's a really good project with a really good narrative, but we got to look into the tokenomics. And then this is your token distribution, right? So sorry for the quality of this image. I just couldn't find anything better. But to give you an idea, you can see that the coins are going to be released, and they say that the full 66 million will be in circulation by about June 2023. So that doesn't give you a long, and this is my little bit of an issue right now, is are they going to release 50% of their tokens between now and June 2023? That would be my question, because that could be insane, and that could put a lot of downward pressure on the price unless they reevaluate this. This is one of my warnings as well. And then finally, this just raised a complete red flag for me. When I went over to the ARWEAVE Explorer, you can type this into Google, ARWEAVE Block Explorer, and you can take a look at the wallet addresses. And I just took a quick screenshot here of the top about 10 or so wallets. And remember, only 66 million will ever be minted of this coin. And you can already see 10, 9, 22, 24, 26, 28, right? 30 million just there in this wallet. Half of the circulating supply is sitting with about 6-7 wallets here. So this is not great. This is low concentration, and this is worrying, because if any of these guys have any perverse incentives to dump the coin, that could be an issue for the ARWEAVE tokens, okay? So there you have it, guys. There is a breakdown of the ARWEAVE tokenomics. What am I doing in this market? Am I going to be buying? Am I going to be dollar cost averaging into ARWEAVE? For now, I'm not going to be doing so, but ARWEAVE is definitely on my list to add as we start to come out of the bottom of this crypto market, and I will be dollar cost averaging. I won't be going crazy with my allocation for the reasons I've outlisted there. Some of those tokenomics don't look particularly fantastic. Particularly the things I'm worried about is the circulating supply. I'm worried about the wallet concentration, which I've just shared with you, as well as saying, okay, how much upside is there realistically in ARWEAVE? And for me, the upside lies anywhere between like an 8x gets you to about Dropbox's level, and 10, 15x is really good execution. So it could be worth it as a small part of my portfolio. The other things which are slight, not worries, but some things which I'm thinking about is ARWEAVE stores all the Solana's blockchain data. So for those of you who are familiar, we can make a separate video on the actual fundamentals of the project separate from the tokenomics, but they run and store all the blockchain data from Solana. So they're very correlated to the pace and progress of the Solana project. And as you guys know, Solana's been having some ups and downs with its downtime and issues around there. And in essence, ARWEAVE then becomes a proxy bet on the Solana ecosystem doing really well. So I want to see that diversify. I want to see ARWEAVE start to have similar partnerships with other blockchains, other projects, other corporate companies as well, and really starting to stretch their reach from a fundamental perspective with some partnerships and biz dev. So there you have it, guys. Hope you enjoyed this video. As always, don't forget to smash up the like button and subscribe. If you want to see another tokenomics breakdown of a different project, then I'll leave 2 up here for you guys to go watch. Smash up the like button and subscribe. Do check out BYBIT and BitGet. Links in the description if you want to buy ARWEAVE. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next one.